Hi there, I hope you're doing well today. It's currently May, and if you've seen any of my art vlogs, you might know exactly what this video is. I'm going to be showing you how the first week of Mermay went, and I would love if you could let me know down below in the comments which one is your favourite. I've never done Mermay before, so I'm really excited. I hope you enjoy. If you don't know, this is an art challenge which lasts for a month, and you're basically given a load of prompts and you create a load of mermaids. You can do it traditionally or digitally, but I really like watercolour, so that's mostly what I'll be using. I might use gouache for some of this challenge, but certainly for the first week it was just watercolour. The first prompt is self-portrait. This was a really lovely introductory one. I've never done mermaid before, so this is my first time. And honestly, this is such an easy prompt to begin with because really you just need to stick yourself on a mermaid, and that's literally what I did. I only really chose this reference photo because it was probably one of the most recent photos I had of myself, and I really love the dress. I think it's a really lovely colour, and especially with the pink hair, I just thought it'd be nice to do a nice kind of pink theme piece. I have mixed feelings about this year's prompts. I was very surprised by the prompts that were chosen. I think some of them are simple, but a lot of them are quite difficult, and they're also really unique. I wasn't expecting any of them. There are some really good prompts, but there's a lot of strange kind of prompts, honestly. This is how self-portrait turned out. Moving on to the second piece now. The prompt is upside down, and I knew at some point during this challenge I wanted to do a fish head with legs, and I didn't plan to do it on my second mermaid, but it just kind of happened. It fit upside down perfectly, but I decided to also put the person upside down. I was actually thinking about doing the sea and the sky swapped over, and then I was like, oh no, actually, like this way will work better. And I really do like how it turned out. I didn't plan to be this silly this early on, but actually I've been on social media since, and a lot of people did this for upside down, so that doesn't make me feel as silly now. On the first day, I actually managed to get 3 prompts done, which was quite the feat. I feel like after I did these 2, I just had a load of energy and was really excited by starting a new challenge, and so I just kept going, and honestly that did not last long. The third prompt is twisted, and I feel like this was definitely the most productive day so far of the entire challenge. I was a little bit confused for twisted, but I thought on it and I actually came up with doing like vines and a kind of jungle theme, and that's kind of the route I went for twisted. I noticed on social media that a lot of people went very different routes for this one, but I also quite like the concept of doing a green themed piece because green is my least used colour, I would say. I don't use green at all. I know sometimes like when you paint a lot of things, it just ends up that you will gravitate towards different colours, and I really gravitate towards pink and purple and blue, and so like yellow and green just don't come up at all, but I really love how this one turned out. I added a little bit of iridium because I felt like the yellow greens were just blending into each other a bit too much and I needed a bit more of a blue green. Plus, I actually really love iridium. I used watercolour mostly for this piece, but then I decided to add a little bit of colour pencil and I decided to use my Mermay fineliners. I don't know if this was a great idea because they kind of splattered everywhere, which I didn't expect. But yeah, I guess this was kind of a mixed media piece.
Press down, press play. This is how it starts, isn't that what you always say? Come to my bed so you don't powder your nose. You move like closets through all of my clothes. And I know that I can't save you, but it feels like salvation to me. I'm trying hard not to break you, but it feels like a breaking point to me. From right here, you can see all of the sky. Your head curls between my thighs. Nobody to ask.
And with this little bit of fine liner done, that's the first day over. I managed to get 3 prompts done, which I was really happy with, but I was definitely getting tired at this point, so I decided to end the first day here.
And I know that I can't save you, but it feels like salvation to me. I'm trying hard not to break you, but it feels like we're breaking free.
Starting day 2 now with a very strong prompt. The prompt is Star Wars, and it seems like they do this prompt every year, which obviously makes sense, it's May the 4th. Originally, I thought of doing R2-D2. I know something obvious would have been like Leia or Rey, but I feel like there's so many girls in this challenge that I'm going to be doing. I wanted to do Darth Vader. I wanted to do Darth Vader and kind of turn him into a sexy mermaid. That was kind of what I was going for. I don't know if you can tell, but I guess this is what Darth Vader might look like if he was a cute girly mermaid. It probably doesn't look it in these clips because it's lovely and sunny and it looks like there's lovely brush strokes, but this lightsaber was really difficult. I kind of thought the lightsaber would be red, but it's not. It's actually really light and the red kind of glows around the outside, so that was definitely a learning experience. Obviously, it was amazing that I was able to finish 3 prompts on the first day, but unfortunately the downside of that is that every day following it, I was creating 2 pieces and they were on the underside of the piece I've just created. The paintings had only really dried about 5 minutes before that, so the chances of them transferring was definitely a lot higher, and I did have a little bit of transfer, unfortunately. The 5th prompt is Cinco de Mayo, and the main idea I had for this one was incorporating like a nice flowy dress into a mermaid's tail. I think you can definitely understand what I'm trying to go for with this one. I just don't think the execution was fantastic. I went for a walk in the middle of this one, which was lovely because it was so sunny outside, but it was really difficult to film because it was such intense sunlight shining right through my window.
Think of the places I could be, so I give up and watch TV. I think I'm going crazy, pacing around my room. Tell me that it gets better, being alone together. The world is upside down and I'm turning inside out. Tell me that it gets better, being alone together. Sit by the window, catching the sun and tracing clouds. I can't believe I'm missing crowds. Time moving so slow, again I'm staring at my phone. Yesterday feels a year ago. Wake up, I'm ready to go, yeah. Feeling so good, in control, yeah. Then think of the places I could be, so I give up and watch TV. I think I'm going crazy, pacing around my room. Tell me that it gets better, being alone together. The world is upside down and I'm turning inside out. Tell me that it gets better, being alone together. Oh, 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 being alone together. Oh, 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 being alone together.
I started the 3rd day with the intention of completing the 6th and 7th prompt. Obviously the 7th was on the underside of this paper, which was a little bit awkward, but I thought it would be nice to finish the first week at the end of the day. The 6th prompt is mushroom, and I did a cute mermaid with a toadstool for a head. This one didn't require too much thought. I've done similar things like this before, but I just wanted to do a cute toadstool mermaid. I don't know, this is just kind of what I went for. The only complaints I really have with this one is that I don't think the mermaid is bending in a way that's kind of correct. I don't think the tail would bend the way that it bends, and I don't think the anatomy is great for this one. I don't think the proportions are great. But I tried to do my best. I did fineliner for this one, and sometimes I really struggle with the line work because I just don't have very strong line work. The other problem I had is I decided I want it to be splashy and fun, but I kind of decided it once I'd already done the entire mermaid. And in hindsight, if I'd have done the entire page messy and flowy and splattery first, it would have been a lot easier to just paint the mermaid on top rather than trying to avoid it. So that's something I definitely would do different in future. Overall though, this was a really fun piece, and whilst I did make a lot of mess, I do really love the effect that it gave. I used a hairdryer before moving on to the next piece, but I also decided that this piece wasn't going to have a very watery, flowy background. I felt like I'd put so much paint on the other side that I just didn't want to risk it with this one. So I kept it simple. I did wet on dry, and I just tried to do very few layers. I did a few for the face, but honestly the rest of the body and the tail was just one layer. I tried to keep it really simple just so that it wouldn't reactivate the underneath. I thought Mer Fairy was a really interesting prompt. Honestly, I've done a fairy for every single art challenge that I've done. I just love drawing and painting fairies. I think that they're so interesting, and that's the kind of stuff that I would like to be painting. So it was really easy to come up with an idea for it, but I didn't want to complicate things too much. I kept the clothing and wings relatively simple. I know I could have gone hyper detailed for this, but I don't think the paper really could have handled it, so I just kept it nice and simple to end the first week on. It was at this point that I thought the background looked a bit too plain and needed something adding to it, but obviously I didn't want to go down the route of wetting the entire page, so I just added some stars and I think it looks really pretty. That is my first week of Mermay prompts done. If you've enjoyed this, please like and subscribe so you don't miss the rest of the month. And if you're interested in seeing my last art challenge, I did March of Robots and the link is on screen now for week 1. I would love if you could check it out. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day and I'll see you later. Bye bye.